this morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road, guys. Can we do it? I say we shall. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you might be on this planet of ours, welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Now, guys, what we're doing tonight may seem a rehash from last night's earthquake and last night's program. But, guys, it is not a total rehash. It's an update. It's an update. Why? Because I find it very significant that earthquake in Japan, this earthquake in Japan was 300 or 400 times larger than what USGS said it was. 300 to 400 times stronger than they said it was. They said it was a 7.4 earthquake. Guess what? It was at least a 7.7, possibly a 7.8 earthquake. I have it verified. I've got it verified from many sources. Okay? But guess what USGS has done? They've lied about it. They've lied about it. Look at this, guys. I'm sorry, not that. These are the stats in the earthquake. Look at this. This is coming from USGS itself. This is a back scientist the back seismologist study page from the USGS itself. Now look what it says. I'm going to walk you through it. Okay? I want you to understand what's going on here. Look what it says. 7.4 earthquake. 100 kilometers east-northeast of Miyako, Japan. That's fine and good. However, it was not a 7.4 earthquake. Let's get into the stats for this earthquake here. Notice this. They're showing a magnitude 7.4 earthquake. However, look at the second one. The first one says no station details reported, meaning they're not going to show any magnitudes that are showing a 7.4 earthquake. But below it, they're showing a 6.7 earthquake. 6.4, 6.7 earthquake. It was neither of those. It was neither a 6.4 or a 6.7 earthquake. But that's what they're going by. They're not even showing 7.4 details, meaning the seismographs that are there should show 7.4 earthquake magnitudes, right? Wrong. Look at this. Look what I'm going to show you now. Over on the far right here, we're showing station details, station magnitudes. Each one of these seismologists, or I'm sorry, not seismologists, seismographs, over on the right side, the channel is identified as a seismograph location. Over on the right is the magnitude of that earthquake. Look what they're showing, guys. Look what they're showing. Not even showing the correct magnitude of this earthquake. Not at all. First up, it shows us 6.11, 6.45, 6.64, 5.81, 6.04. It's not that either. 6.49. It's not that either. Let me move this up for you. .81. Interesting. It's not a 5.81. 6.14. 6.49. It's not that either. Not that at all. Guys, they are lying through their teeth on this. They're absolutely lying through the teeth. Look at all these magnitudes, guys. These magnitudes do not correspond to the 7.4 earthquake magnitude that they have on the map. None of them do. Not one of these do. Now I'm going to continue to scroll through here because I want to show you what exactly they're doing here. Down here, look what they're showing us here. .64, 6.44, 6.36. Not that. 6.71. Still not the magnitude that it was. Not at all. Let's continue scrolling through here. Right here. Okay, right here. Look what it says. Look what it says right here. 7.03. Interesting. It's not a 7.03 either. It's 400 times the strength of that 7.03. However, it's not a 7.4 either. It's not a 7.04, 7.24, or 7.4 either. Not at all. Look what I'm showing you guys. They have lied about the strength of this earthquake. They're not even showing any sevens at all here. They've actually shown on this data sheet, they're only showing two locations, two seismographs that are reporting 7.0 plus earthquake. That's all. That's all. They are not identifying the total strength of this earthquake at all. Look at that. Here we have a 7.17. That is the one seismograph that is showing anywhere close to a 7.4, but still, this is still showing approximately 300 times less than the strength of the real quake. Not showing it. Why not? Because the United States Geological Survey does not want to admit how strong this earthquake is. They've done this before. They're doing it again now. They're doing it again now, guys. Other agencies, including the Japanese Meteorological Seismic Energy Agency itself, is showing a 7.7 earthquake. The Japanese agency itself is showing a 7.7 earthquake. And I believe it was a 7.8 earthquake. I believe it was a 7.8 earthquake, totally a 7.7 earthquake. Now, what are the possibilities here? Like I said yesterday, I showed you the felt reports from people on shore, people at various places around Japan. They were saying, yes, they felt some rocking. They felt some swaying. They saw furniture walking up and down the floor. They saw overhead lighting swaying around over their heads. They saw their buildings moving. They saw their buildings swaying around in the breeze as if a very strong wind had been pushing the buildings. Of course, that's not possible. The Japanese people have built Japan very strongly. They know that Japan has had earthquakes there before. Look what the USGS says here. 110 felt reports from this earthquake. The USGS is saying there's only 110 felt reports. Felt reports all over Japan from the European agency, but the US agency, the predominant seismic energy agency in the world, isn't showing it. Not one lick. Not one lick at all. Yet, look at what USGS is showing us here. Guys, this is a map showing all the foreshocks and all the aftershocks since before this earthquake hit. Look at all these foreshocks and aftershocks, literally all over the place. Yes, they show these here, but they do not want to admit how strong this earthquake was. Not at all. Not at all. Now, guys, I'm going to talk Turkey here. I'm going to talk Turkey here. Let me show you what happened yesterday on shore. I want to make sure you all recognize what happened yesterday in Japan. It rocked. It literally rocked. Let me show you this movie here. This might blow your mind. This may blow your mind here, guys. Now, why am I saying that? Because, guys, this is serious. This is very serious. This is a tsunami that was caused by the earthquake. Look at that. This is a tsunami that was caused by the earthquake, washing away cars, washing away buildings. No joke. No joke. Northern Japan experienced a 7.7, 7.8 magnitude earthquake early yesterday morning. In Japan, it was just after 4:30 in the morning. Or I'm sorry, 4:30 in the afternoon, Japan time. Unreal. Japan authorities said there was no risk to the west coast of the United States from this quake, or Canada, or Alaska at all. That's what the Japanese Meteorological Agency said. The United States Geological Service maps where the earthquake is felt and occurs shows very little. Okay? Now, while this earthquake in Japan hit roughly a third of Japan, a third of Japan felt this earthquake hit. 1/3 of Japan felt this earthquake hit, and you can see the tsunami that hit. See the tsunami that hit here. Let me show you another video here. This is from a helicopter flying above the shoreline of Japan here. Watch this. See the waves forming far offshore? There's approximately a 3.1 foot breaker there. Multiple tsunami waves here. The Japanese Meteorological Agency said that they might see waves up to 80 centimeters high, 8 to 9 feet high. They didn't see 8 to 9 feet high. However, they saw 3 feet high. 3 feet high, 1 meter high. 1 meter high above normal wave level, normal tide level. When that water went inland, it pushed cars, it knocked over small buildings and moved small buildings all throughout Japan, all throughout eastern Japan. Just like we have tsunami hazard zones here in the United States, we put up signs. Japan did the same thing. Now, I'm not playing the audio here because it contains music, and I don't want a copyright strike. But this is what happened off Japan yesterday during the day. Yesterday afternoon in Japan. You've seen it here. You may have seen videos on other sites all over the internet yesterday. But I want to show you this because I have more information to show you, to talk to you about. So please stay here with us. We had 24 people watching, now we have 19 and now 21. This is very interesting. This is a very important report, yet still very few people want to see this. Or maybe YouTube is suppressing our count here. Maybe we actually have more people watching than they're saying, which is typically true. Northern Japan did not experience a 7.4 earthquake, was a 7.7, 7.8 earthquake. 300 to 400 times stronger than what the USGS said it was. Okay? The USGS geological maps, where an earthquake is felt after it occurs, concluded while the quake roughly hit 1/3 of Japan, the ground failure may still occur when alert levels indicate little or no hazard occurring. Ground failure may still occur even though the hazards say little or nothing occurred. This earthquake was not felt outside the Japan area. Japan's meteorological agency warned that earthquakes of similar magnitude could occur in the next 2 to 3 days. Let me repeat that. Earthquakes of similar magnitude may occur within the next 2 to 3 days. Yes, they have had earthquakes here today. They've had many, many earthquakes all over Japan today, all over northeastern Japan as well. Okay? They could have upwards of 7.4 to 7.8 earthquakes still occurring because there is a 25% chance that a much stronger earthquake could occur in the next 72 hours. Okay? What does that mean to us? What does that mean to the people in Japan? Okay? For Japan, the people still need to prepare for a large earthquake. At least an earthquake of 7.4 to 7.8 could occur still, but it might be even larger. There is a 25% chance that this earthquake may even be larger than it was. Generally speaking, this might be something that the U.S. mainland on the West Coast may need to take a look at. Why? Could another earthquake happen along the coast of North America? Absolutely it should. It could. We've been talking a lot about in the recent past, the last even maybe 6 years that I've been on the air, we've been talking about the Cascadia megathrust earthquake. We've been talking about a Cascadia megathrust earthquake to the tune of a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. Yes, it could occur. What happened in Japan yesterday morning Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Japan time, could occur again in Japan. And yes, because the earth failed, there was a ground failure over on the western side of the Pacific. A ground failure on the eastern side of the Pacific could also happen. A ground failure on the eastern side of the Pacific, a Cascadia failure, could still occur here. We are on the opposite side of the Pacific plate. The United States is sitting on the eastern side of the Pacific plate. We had a 7.7, 8.8 earthquake near the Kamchatka Peninsula several months ago. We had 7.4 earthquake before that, 6.8 earthquake before that on the northwestern side of the Pacific Ocean. Now we've had a 7.7, 7.8 earthquake in Japan. What is going to happen over here off the west coast of America, the west coast of Canada and the United States and even Alaska? There's still a possibility right now, today, of having a megathrust earthquake on North America west coast. I'm giving you the information, guys. The information's out there. With that saying that, generally speaking, to produce a tsunami in Oregon, Washington, and California, an earthquake near Japan would need to be an 8.5 magnitude earthquake or greater in Japan, among other factors, up to and including a separate megathrust earthquake in Japan and a separate megathrust earthquake on North American West Coast, Washington, Oregon, and Vancouver, British Columbia. We could have a megathrust earthquake over in Japan, the Kamchatka Peninsula area, and over on the west coast of North America. 2 separate megathrust earthquakes, which would make a major tsunami happening on both coasts, in Japan and Kamchatka Peninsula, and over on Alaska, Canada's, and the United States west coast of North America. That's why we're talking about this here, guys. That's why we're talking about it. According to the United States Geological Survey, yesterday's earthquake in Japan, the epicenter was in the Pacific Ocean, about 62 miles east-northeast of the coast of Iwate Prefecture. Off the coast of Iwate Prefecture, which is a province or a county. According to the Japanese public media, NHK, their television network, the country's meteorological agency has issued an advisory for an increased risk of a potential megathrust quake for northern Japan. An increased risk of a potential megaquake over on the northern coast of Japan. The agency says there's an increased probability of a megaquake along 2 deep sea trenches in the Pacific Ocean, with an alert covering over 180 towns and cities from Chiba, Japan to Hokkaido to the north. Japan issued a megaquake warning after the earthquake that hit yesterday afternoon Japan time. That megathrust earthquake warning is still in effect today. That's going to be ongoing for a while. Now, while there is a 1% chance, of that happening, okay, I'm showing the 1% chance over on the right-hand side of your screen. Before that earthquake hit yesterday, there's only a 0.1% chance. Before that earthquake hit yesterday, there was only 0.1% chance of a megaquake happening in Japan. Now we have a full 90% chance, greater 90% chance of it happening now. A full 1% chance of it happening now. That's huge. This is huge, guys. Now, while the 1% chance doesn't seem to be much at all, yes, it's relatively still a small chance, but also it is relatively big jump from where it was yesterday before the earthquake hit. That's huge. That's huge. There still is a small chance that a mega earthquake could hit Japan in the coming week. But what even is that? Let's talk about this. The Japanese authorities raised the risk of a megaquake only slightly. The elevated risk, set at 1%, is for a highly destructive earthquake in the next week, compared to an everyday risk of 0.1%, 0.1% chance. Japan and the USGS defines a megaquake as measuring 8.0 or larger on the minute magnitude scale. And it says that that megaquake could generate a 98-foot tall tsunami. Japan and the USGS both say that that megaquake could generate a 98-foot tall tsunami. The last megaquake in Japan was also the country's strongest, measuring 9.0 magnitude and triggering the tsunami that hit Fukushima nuclear power plant. Think about that. Now let's look at this. Let's explain this. Drawing from scientific measures. Historical earthquakes. We're looking at scientific measures and historical earthquakes. and unique geological features of Japan that relate to the current situation. To give you all a better idea of what we are talking about today, let's go back and talk about yesterday's earthquake. A powerful 7.7, 7.8 earthquake struck off the northeast coast of Japan yesterday afternoon in Japan time. Like we said, we showed you what happened yesterday. We showed you the felt reports. We showed you the felt reports here. Okay? Buildings swayed, and at least 11 towns were warned to evacuate and seek higher ground. There were several 5.4, 5.6, 5.7, 5.9 aftershocks, as well as moderate aftershocks, meaning 4.0, 4.9 in magnitude. They happened. Those earthquakes happened. Those were aftershocks. When we got to our program yesterday evening, we showed you there were 16 aftershocks. 7 of those 16 were large 5.0 plus earthquakes. Those were large 5.0 earthquakes and larger. Now, what do we mean when we talk about a mega earthquake? How are earthquakes measured, and what makes a mega earthquake? To understand a mega earthquake, we need to know how the strength of the earthquake is categorized. What is a magnitude? What is in a magnitude? It's not that simple. It's absolutely not that simple. A magnitude is a measure of a combination of factors, including shaking intensity and the physical size of an earthquake, by the length of the fault that is on. Again, the magnitude is a measure of a combination of factors, shaking intensity and the physical size of the earthquake by the length of the fault on which it occurs, the energy release, and the amplitude of seismic waves that are recorded on seismographs. I think this is also important here. The reality is here. Measuring earthquake magnitudes. Measuring earthquakes is a very complicated process that can be a bit inconsistent and arbitrary at times. The ability to measure earthquakes has changed over a lot of time. For example, the more commonly known Richter scale has mostly been retired, but it's been replaced by a more modern measure called moment magnitude. Remember moment magnitude here. But regardless, the higher the magnitude, the stronger the earthquake. The higher the magnitude, the stronger the earthquake. One between 7.0 and 7.9 is considered to be a major earthquake. A major earthquake can cause serious major damage. Now, that happens between 10 and 15 times a year. Major earthquakes usually occur anywhere from 10 to 15 times a year. An earthquake of 8.0 or greater, an earthquake of 8.0 magnitude or larger, happens only once or twice a year. It happens only once or twice a year, and that large of an earthquake can totally destroy communities near the epicenter. An 8.0 plus earthquake can totally destroy cities and towns, communities, and populations near the epicenter. There is actually no formal or university scientific definition of a megaquake. It's kind of just exactly what it sounds like. A really big, destructive earthquake, greater than the one we typically have seen. What could a megathrust earthquake look like in Japan or the Pacific Northwest and up and down the entire length of North America? What would that look like? For Japan and North America, anything of a magnitude 8.0 or higher could be a megaquake. Along the north coast of Oregon and Washington, Vancouver, British Columbia. That is a megathrust earthquake fault zone. Multiple fault zones being involved here. That's why they call it a megathrust earthquake. Now, if that happens in Japan, it would not be Japan's first mega earthquake, because Japan is an area where several continental and oceanic plates converge. Japan is where multiple tectonic and oceanic plates converge, where those plates could trigger a tsunami, a giant wave, multiple giant waves that could cause massive destruction once it makes shore. That tsunami wave or waves will cause massive destruction once it hits shore. Yesterday's 7.7, 7.8 earthquake caused destruction. You saw it moving small buildings. You saw it moving cars. That was a 7.7, 7.8 earthquake. When we talk about the 9.0 earthquake that hit in Japan back in 2011, 9.0 earthquake, massive destruction. The shaking itself from that earthquake destroyed homes, destroyed businesses. It shook the nuclear reactors where there was damage. Then what happened later? Within 20 to 30 minutes later, massive tsunami waves hit the shoreline of Japan. Massive tsunami waves hit the shoreline of Japan. That was bad. We saw the destruction then. We saw some destruction yesterday. We still have some tsunami waves hitting Japan today. Smaller tsunami waves, but tsunami waves nonetheless. What's going to happen to Washington, Oregon, Canada, California to the south, and Alaska to the north? What's going to happen when that famous Cascadia megathrust earthquake is going to hit? We are already over 334 years past due. We are already 334 years past due, meaning that Cascadia earthquake could hit any day now. Just like USGS says, this was nothing. They downgraded to a 6.4. They downgraded to 6.4 on their own backside seismologist study page. But on the map, they knew darn well that the Japanese agency knew it was a lot larger. So the USGS made it a 7.4 when it was really a 7.7, 7.8 earthquake. What's happening now here on the west coast of North America? The USGS is ignoring all the earthquakes that are happening along the coast. They're ignoring all the earthquakes in Washington, Oregon, and along the California coast as well. They're ignoring them. They're not showing any earthquakes whatsoever. That's because they're trying to downplay it, so nobody realizes what's going to happen. Guys, people died. People died. So far in Japan from yesterday's earthquake, 30 people were unalived, and more than 100 people were injured from yesterday's earthquake. What happens when we have a 9.0, 10.0 megathrust earthquake along the northwest coast of the United States, Canada, and Alaska? What's going to happen? There's going to be total destruction. And that's before even the first tsunami waves hit. Then there's going to be massive destruction after that. Japan has a long history of significant earthquakes, and they've issued tsunami warnings before. The first megathrust earthquake hit in Japan, August 2024, with a magnitude 7.1 earthquake that shook southern Japan. When this earthquake hit 2 years ago, we talked about it. We showed you this destruction from that earthquake and small tsunami waves then. In December 2025, just 5 months ago, a megaquake warning was issued after another 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit off the north coast of Japan. The government said a megaquake could cause up to a 98-foot tsunami and kill as many as 199,000 people. This was a major earthquake at the time, but it still was not a megathrust quake. Yesterday's earthquake is still a major earthquake, but it has still not climbed to the potential of a megathrust quake, as we were going to see in the Cascadia earthquake. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. The last megathrust earthquake, the last major earthquake in Japan, caused waves nearly as high as 8 feet high to move across the entire Pacific Basin eastward along the coast of Washington, Oregon, and California, damaging boats, docks, and marinas, and even over into Canada, Vancouver Island, and even over along the Juan de Fuca Peninsula. Okay? The strongest earthquake that's ever recorded in Japan at a magnitude 9.0 that happened 15 years ago in 2011, known as the Great East Japan Earthquake. The quake, and particularly the resulting 23-foot high tsunami, killed 20,000 people and caused a nuclear reactor accident at the power plant in Fukushima 15 years ago. The largest earthquake ever recorded across the globe was a magnitude 9.5 in 1960 in Chile, Coquimbo, Chile, along a fault that is almost 1,000 miles long. So scientists today are saying something of this scale could happen again in Japan and over along the north coast of Oregon, Washington, and Canada. The same thing's going to happen. The same thing's going to happen. And even today, the Japanese government is saying that there's still a small chance, a 1% chance, that they may still see a mega earthquake in Japan within the next 7 days. There is a 25% chance within the next 7 days that they will see at least a 6.0 to 7.4 earthquake hit in the next 7 days, a 25% chance. But a mega thrust earthquake is possible for the next 7 days. There's only 1% chance of it happening, but the chance is still there. The possibility is still there. What's going to happen? We don't know. We don't know. All we do know is that this chance is going to happen. We still have a chance of destruction in Japan. We have even a larger chance of it happening up along the north coast of North America. Yes, it could happen. It could very well happen today, tomorrow, next week, or even next year. But it's going to happen. It definitely is going to happen, guys. Let's go over here and take a look at the USGS map really quickly. I'm going to back it out. Right now we're showing Washington State. We're showing Mount Rainier. They're not showing anything happening here at Mount Rainier. They're not showing anything at Mount Hood or Mount St. Helens. They're hardly showing anything going on at all. That's a fallacy, guys. That's a fallacy. USGS is saying there's only 237 quakes worldwide. There are 1,100 earthquakes worldwide so far that I know of. There are also probably another 900,000 earthquakes that they are not even acknowledging at all. They're not acknowledging at all. For example, right up here, this is the Puget Sound region, the northern Puget Sound region. Here's a 1.2. South of Bellingham, near Anacortes, Washington, 1.2 tremor. But guys, we know for a fact that there are more than just 1.2 tremors hitting this area. I've shown you seismograms here. I've shown you seismograph readings here, which are printouts from the seismograph itself, showing not just minor earthquakes, not just microquakes, not just tremors, but full-blown 2.7, 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Washington State and over on Vancouver Island. They're not showing them, are they? Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Let's look at this here. Okay? What are we seeing here? This is 1.6 tremor here. 2 miles northeast of Lake Marcel, Stillwater, Washington. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you this, guys. Look where we're at. Look where we're at. This is in the town here. This is in the town here. Lake Marcel in Stillwater, Washington. It's in the town. Yet they're saying it's outside the town. It's not. It's in town. Okay? That's one of the things I'm talking about here. They're not being accurate in saying where these earthquakes are. They're not even showing all the earthquakes around town, around the area, around the state. They're not doing it. Let's go over here to the peninsula here. the Olympic Peninsula. Here's a 2.0 earthquake at the volcano. Amanda Park, Washington. This is the volcano, guys. This is down here on the southeastern flank of the Olympic volcano here. 2.0 minor earthquake here. 22 miles northeast of Amanda Park, Washington. Interesting. It's at the volcano, guys. Yet they don't want to even show the volcano here. We know it's on the Olympic Peninsula. We know there's a volcano right there, but they don't want to show it. There are earthquakes over here at ocean shores. There are earthquakes up and down the entire coastline of Washington. Earthquakes up and down the entire coast of Washington and Oregon. They're not showing at all. I think during the next couple days, I'm going to show you seismograms from Washington and Oregon to show you exactly what's going on here. So maybe then you'll realize that they mean business. The earthquakes mean business here. Because the agency doesn't want to show it. They don't want to admit what's going on. My buddy Michael Kearney is here. We appreciate you being here, Michael. Now, right before we came on, I noticed over on our Facebook Messenger site that's called Space and Earth Weather. Heather and Renee Steffi have a weather site. Earlier this afternoon, Heather said there was a huge cloud over near Mount Shasta where she lives, where it looked like there might be a tornado might come down out of the cloud. Incredible. I want to ask Heather to be very safe. She and a friend of hers were going out and chase weather, maybe even chase tornadoes in California, Northern California. Be safe out there, Heather. The weather can be mean, as you know. Out here, off the coast of Oregon, we have another earthquake today. Yesterday, right down here, off the western coast of Oregon, right here, just north of the Blanco fracture zone, we had a 3.0 earthquake right here. That was yesterday. However, today we have another earthquake here. This happens to be a 3.3 small earthquake here today. Again, off the Blanco fracture zone. So now 2 days in a row, we have small earthquakes here off the Blanco fracture zone in the Cascadia subduction zone region. These earthquakes keep happening. Down south here, the southern portion of the Cascadia subduction zone region. Down here, west of the Triple Junction, we have a 3.4 earthquake here. 3.4 earthquake just west of the Triple Junction here. Over off the San Andreas Fault here, further here to the east. This is a 2.5 earthquake here, 12 miles west-southwest of Petrolia, California. So we've had a 2.5 here on the San Andreas. This is a 3.4 here on the Gorda Escarpment, just west of the Cascadia subduction zone. And over here on the Gorda Escarpment, right next to the San Andreas Fault. The Triple Junction here is adjoining the Cascadia subduction zone, the Gorda Escarpment, and the San Andreas Fault. This is where the San Andreas Fault begins, and where it goes all the way through from here, all the way down into Mexico. The San Andreas Fault spans this entire region all the way down into southern Mexico. Incredible. Incredible. Southeast of here, right here, we have a brand new earthquake. This is a 1.8 tremor here, southeast of Redway, California. 1.8 tremor here. That's normal. That's completely normal. We have tremors and regular earthquakes here in Redway, California all the time. Up to the north here, we have a 2.93.0 earthquake here near Weaverville, California. Weaverville, California here. Okay? Further to the south here, more earthquakes. More earthquakes. This is a 1.5 tremor here, Redwood Valley, California. Redwood Valley, California. Then we come down here, south Clear Lake Volcano. South of Clear Lake Volcano. We have a swarm of earthquakes here every day. This is because men, in their infinite wisdom, have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano to obtain steam to power turbines here in the Sonoma Valley area. In the Sonoma Valley area, this is the Geysers geothermal facility. The Geysers geothermal facility. They have 81 turbines here in the Geysers facility. They have footprints here. They have footprints where men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of that volcano to obtain steam. Right here is one of those turbine facilities. Off to the west here is a footprint. Off to the west of that turbine facility is a footprint. Where the points, the drill points start, that drill into the upper magma chambers of the volcano. This is where the drill points are. We call it the footprint. There are footprints all over this facility. All over here. We have a footprint here. Drill points. More drill points right here. More drill points right there. And we have earthquakes here. For every drill point, we have an earthquake, at least. Sometimes many earthquakes. Many earthquakes. Now, let me bring up our webcam here so I can visually tell you how this happens. Parts of the magma chambers can be found when they drill either straight down, perpendicular, or straight across over towards the volcano. Accessing the volcano is fairly simple. They either drill straight down, off to the side perpendicular, or straight across horizontal to the ground to reach the magma chamber of the volcano. That's why when you see so many earthquakes in this area, you can imagine the drill points are here. You can only imagine the drill points of fingers point towards that volcano. Right here, a brand new earthquake here. This is a 2.4 minor earthquake here. 2.4 minor earthquake. In the last 3 or 4 months, we've had 3.0s, we've had 3.5s, and about a month and a half ago, we had a 4.5 earthquake in this area. A 4.5 moderate earthquake here in the Geysers facility. Down here to the south, right here, another earthquake just hit here today, just a little while ago. In this case, this is a 1.1 tremor here. 1.1 tremor. Many of these earthquakes are tremors. Some of them are minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. As I said before, we can also get 3.0 to 4.5 earthquakes here. 3.0, 3.9 are small quakes. 4.0, 4.9 are moderate earthquakes. Yes, we've had 4.5 earthquakes here in the geysers facility here. Again, the geysers facility is a geothermal facility where men have drilled in the upper magma chambers of that volcano to the north. They drilled in the upper magma chambers of that volcano to the north. And when seismic energy comes off the Pacific plate, it finds those drill points, man-made earthquake faults, as they call them. It fractures the rock inside the drill points, causing earthquakes. Typically, we have anywhere from 20 to 30 earthquakes here a day. 20 to 30 earthquakes here every day, typically. Okay? Further south, the USGS, in its infinite wisdom, hasn't published any earthquakes here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but there are earthquakes here. They're just not showing it. East of Monterey Bay here. East of Monterey Bay. We have a 1.1 tremor here, Gilroy, California. Almost every day we have either a tremor or minor earthquake here in Gilroy, California. Every day. Why? Look where it's at. Look where it's at. It's on the Hayward Fault. Smack dab right on top of the Hayward Fault. Further south, on the San Andreas. This is a 1.2 tremor here. This is what they call the pinnacles here. The pinnacles here. Not only is this earthquake on the San Andreas Fault, we have oil and gas drilling happening here in the pinnacles. That's why we have another earthquake here. Doesn't matter whether it's drilling into the upper magma chambers of a volcano or drilling for oil and gas. Doesn't matter. Every time man drills into the surface of the earth, seismic energy comes, finds a drill point, which is a man-made earthquake fault, and fractures the rock inside that drill point, causing earth movement, causing an earthquake. That's what happened here in the Pinnacles facility today. I've seen as many as 18 earthquakes here in the Pinnacles area here. That doesn't often happen. Usually we see up to maybe 4 or 5. But I've seen up to 18 earthquakes here in the Pinnacles facility here in the recent years, in the last 6 years that I've been looking at it. Let's go further to the south here. Okay, way here further south. Guess where we are? Templeton, California, near the Oceana Fault. Templeton, California has had many earthquakes here. This earthquake happens to be a 1.6 tremor here. Fascinating. Fascinating. We have many earthquakes here in Templeton, California, all the time. All the time. Further to the south here, off of Santa Barbara. This is a minor 2.1 earthquake here. 9 miles southwest of Santa Barbara, California, off the coast. Let's go over towards Los Angeles now, over towards LA, Universal City, Hollywood. Fascinating. They're saying they have a 1.0 tremor here. What I'm going to tell you is this. I've seen the Hollywood seismogram before. They're not showing it anymore. The United States Geological Survey and the Institute of Technology here in LA, they show seismograms here, aren't showing the seismograms anymore. I've seen the seismograms here before. We don't just have minor earthquakes here. We don't just have tremors here. We have lots of them. Lots of them. There's just not one 1.0 tremor here. There's many. There we can probably see also many small minor earthquakes here. 2.0 to 3.5 earthquakes here in Hollywood. Hollywood, Universal City. Happens. We go into Los Angeles City here. Guess what? You don't see any earthquakes here in LA, do we? Not at all. Every day that I've shown the seismogram here in Los Angeles, they have all kinds of tremors here. Possibly hundreds of tremors here every day here in LA. They're not showing even one tremor here, not even one microquake. All kinds of earthquakes happen here in Los Angeles. All kinds of them. North of LA right here. Pasadena, we have earthquakes. Burbank, we have earthquakes. Also, we show you other suburbs here north of Los Angeles with earthquakes. Not just tremors, but minor 2.1 to 2.9 earthquakes here. Moore Park, California, north of Los Angeles right here. We've seen 2.0, 2.9 minor earthquakes. We've seen 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Moore Park, California. Pardee, California as well. They're not showing any of those today, not at all. Why not? Why not? In the past, we've also had access to JPL seismogram. The JPL seismogram comes from a seismograph located at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory here in Pasadena, California. We have tremors here. They're not showing one of them here at all. Let's continue east here. We have earthquakes here in El Monte, California, Rosemead, Arcadia, Glendora, Azusa, West Covina, Laverne, Walnut City here. What do we know about Walnut? What do we know about Walnut, guys? Again, they've cut off our access to the Walnut La Puente seismogram. They've cut off access to the Walnut La Puente seismogram. Why? There happens to be a volcano here. There is a volcano down beneath the Walnut La Puente area. Walnut La Puente town here. Two different towns here in the caldera. The caldera is volcanic floor. It's taken thousands of years to wear down that cinder cone, wear down that crater here in Walnut La Puente. This area used to be underwater. It also used to be covered by ice. Over thousands of years, it's worn down that caldera. I mean that crater and the cone. Now, all there is a volcanic floor. The cities of Walnut and La Puente sit on that volcanic caldera. Volcanic caldera. A great big huge piece of volcanic rock. Lava rock. Down beneath that lava rock is a volcano. The volcano is still active. Every day here in Walnut La Puente, we've seen 3.5 to 4.0 earthquakes hitting at the volcano here in Walnut La Puente. That's because that magma down beneath the surface is hitting on that volcanic rock. That volcanic rock is probably very deep inside the volcano. But that volcanic rock is still being hit from beneath like this. That magma from underneath that volcano, or in that volcano, underneath that caldera, is under pressure, hitting that volcanic rock. Now, there is steam coming from that rock. Small steam vents. As I said before, the volcano caldera is only a great big huge piece of rock, lava rock. When that magma down beneath it hits that volcanic rock, keeps hitting, it forms tiny holes in the volcano rock. It opens up tiny fissures or holes in that volcanic rock. As that magma is hitting that rock from beneath, magma is 6 to 7% of water, actually 6 to 8% of water. That magma is so hot that it is releasing that steam, that water from the magma. The steam is coming through that volcano floor and entering the cities of Walnut and La Puente. They have been receiving not very deadly steam measurements, but they've had increased steam measurements showing sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide coming from the earth here underneath the cities of Walnut and La Puente, California. Fact. That's what's going on here, guys. That's what's happening here. I've been all over this area before. I visited the towns of Pomona. I visited the towns of Claremont. I've been over here in Ontario. I've been in Upland here. I've been in Rancho Cucamonga. I've been all over this area here. Over here in Fontana. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Fontana today. That's a fallacy. That is an out-and-out lie. Guys, when they were showing the seismograms here at Fontana, from the seismograph here at Fontana, we were seeing not just tremors, not just minor earthquakes, we were seeing 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes happening here in Fontana, California. Why? Why is it happening? Why is it happening? Two things here. See that fault there? See that fault here, guys? On the east side of Fontana? The San Jacinto Fault. And just east of that, over here by San Bernardino, we have the San Andreas. The San Andreas. So in Fontana, what we are seeing are earthquakes on the San Jacinto and what is happening here on the San Andreas as well. Fact. Right here. This is Redlands. This is the Redlands, California. 1.0 tremor here on the San Jacinto Fault. Let's go back out west here. Right here. Just southeast of Corona, California. southeast of Corona, California. We have an earthquake here. It's a 0.9 quarry blast, apparently. USGS wants to call it a quarry blast here. Let's zoom in here, guys. It's not in a quarry. It's not in a quarry. It's about 2 miles from the quarry. It's about a half a mile south of Home Gardens. A half a mile south of residential areas in Home Gardens, California. This is not a quarry blast, as USGS would have us believe. This is a tremor here. This is a tremor here just south of Home Gardens, California. Fortunately for them, this is just a tremor. Years ago, 2019, just prior to the Ridgecrest earthquake, we had small earthquakes. We had 4.5 moderate earthquakes hitting here in Home Gardens. It could happen again. It is very likely it could happen again very soon. It's been 7 years nearly since we had a major earthquake in Ridgecrest. It could happen again. And we are expecting that earthquake to hit on the San Andreas Fault very soon. Very, very soon. Now, earthquakes don't just happen. They're here. They're here. All over Los Angeles. Literally all over Los Angeles. Here's La Habra, Fullerton, Buena Park, South Whittier, Norwalk, Cerritos. Guess what? Buena Park. What's in Buena Park? What's in Buena Park, everybody? Those of you that have lived in Los Angeles, what is in Buena Park? Let me give you a quick hint. Right after the Northridge earthquake, they noticed magma, lava, going up into the storm drains here in Buena Park. Yeah. They had the red hot lava going up here through the storm drains here in Buena Park. What do you think of that? There is lava all over this area. Here in Long Beach, we have earthquakes. Prior to the USGS and Caltech cutting off our earthquake seismograms, here in Long Beach, we can show you every day, tremors, minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9, and every day, anywhere from 10 to 15 3.0 earthquakes every day here in Long Beach, California. Imagine that. Long Beach, California. Just because they cut us off doesn't mean they don't happen. Just because they cut us off doesn't mean it doesn't happen. How about here in Anaheim? Anaheim, California, guys. What's in Anaheim? Anaheim has Disneyland here. We have Knott's Berry Farm here. Two great big huge entertainment complexes here with roller coasters. Prior to them cutting off the seismograms here in this area, we had seismograms here showing earthquakes here in Anaheim. Tremors and minor earthquakes and small earthquakes hitting here in Anaheim every day. Every day. Usually the small earthquakes 3.0 and larger were happening early in the morning or late at night, but they were happening. Yes, we've had 3 points earthquakes after 9 a.m. in the morning, after Disneyland opens up or Knott's Berry Farm opens up. When those earthquakes happen during or right before opening hours, they have to shut the park down, they have to shut the rides down, and make sure the roller coaster tracks and the train cars are still on the tracks and the tracks can be operational for those roller coasters. Yeah. Every day they have earthquakes hitting Anaheim, all over LA. Here in Los Angeles, the greater LA area, they have 400 plus earthquakes here a day, just in the greater Los Angeles area. However, what happens in the greater Southern California region? What happens down here in the greater Southern California region? Let's look here down in Imperial Valley, east of San Diego County. I'm showing you the Imperial Valley right now. The Imperial Valley has 500 earthquakes a day, every day without fail. Every day. USGS doesn't show all the earthquakes ever. Not ever. They're showing one earthquake further down here to the south. Actually, it's not an earthquake. Not an earthquake at all. What is this area here? What is this area? This is the town of Imperial here. We have tremors and minor earthquakes here in the town of Imperial every day, and occasionally we will have 3 points earthquakes here in the town of Imperial. However, for the south here, El Centro, every day here in El Centro, we have tremors 1.0, 1.9. We have 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes. We have 9 to 15, 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here every day in the town of El Centro. Our dear friend and associate, Juanito, lives here in El Centro with his family. He's been part of the program here in the past. He's been in the chat here before. He's told us why he's been here in the chat, that he and his family feel these earthquakes that hit here. These earthquakes are real. These earthquakes are real. USGS might not want to show them, but they are happening nonetheless. I want to be clear about that. I want to be very clear about that. Earthquakes happen here, whether or not USGS wants to show them to us or not. North there we have Brawley. Brawley has earthquakes here as well. North of Brawley, we have a town called Westmoreland. Westmoreland, we used to have a seismogram here. They shut off the seismogram last December. Here in Westmoreland, we used to see tremors, minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9, and at least a 2 or 3 small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here every day. Now they're not showing anything at all. Probably 50 to 60 earthquakes here every day here in Westmoreland. Total. However, let's go up here to the northeast here. Now we're talking about Calipatria. Calipatria is a small town of maybe 5,000 people, just like Westmoreland is. However, Calipatria has a seismograph here. The seismograph is still showing anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes here every day. Every day. Here in this northeastern part of the Imperial Valley. Every day. USGS not showing anything today at all. That again is a fallacy. These happen nonetheless. They happen every day. Going south here, I want to go down south here until we get over here to a town called Holtville. Holtville here. Right here. Here we have a seismograph here in Holtville. They have a museum of sorts here in Holtville. It's called the Salton Sea Desert Research Station here. A seismograph here at this station is still recording earthquakes. We have all kinds of tremors, all kinds of minor earthquakes happening here. Yes, occasionally we'll even see 2 or 3 small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here every day. Every day. They're not showing anything here either. Let's go up here to the north, to the northeast here. Here in Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach used to be a huge spa, just like we saw in Iceland. Huge spa here. During the 40s and 50s, 60s, huge spa here. People used to go here and bathe in warm water heated by the volcano. Interesting. Yes, there's a volcano south of here. Bombay Beach still gets hit with earthquakes. Why? Why? Because Bombay Beach also has access to the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault runs all the way down from Northern California, down here, east of Los Angeles, east of the Salton Sea here. Here, Bombay Beach, this is where the San Andreas Fault goes underneath the Salton Sea here. Bombay Beach. Here, Bombay Beach, we have anywhere from 10 to 23.0 large earthquakes here every day. Every day. Most of these earthquakes are 3.5 to 4.5 earthquakes here every day here at Bombay Beach. I've been there. I felt earthquakes here. We've also had our friends here at Bombay Beach. They have been bounced around by these earthquakes. They've been standing along the seashore of the Salton Sea. They've been bounced around on the seashore of the Salton Sea by these earthquakes. 4.5 earthquakes are prevalent here at Bombay Beach every day. Now, Bombay Beach isn't a shoreline here. No longer is it has somewhat of a captive audience, but that audience is limited to campers, trailers here. They don't have a spa any longer. Those days are over. The Salton Sea is polluted here. South of here in the Salton Sea, in the Imperial Valley, they've been growing agriculture products, lettuce, cauliflower, corn, all kinds of other vegetables here in the Imperial Valley. The waste here from the fertilizers here that helps those plants grow is leaching into the water of the Salton Sea. It is said that if anybody touches the waters of the Salton Sea, they may get chemical burns from the toxins in the water of the Salton Sea. Over here on the beaches of Bombay Beach, all along the eastern shoreline of the Salton Sea, down here to the south, over here on the west side of the Salton Sea, they have shoreline of the Salton Sea here. Yes, they have people that camp here year-round, but they don't go accessing the water here. It's not drinkable. It's not safe to play in. Back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they used to play in it. They used to launch boats here. They don't do it anymore. Yes, they have people that live here in campers and RVs. That's all. They have abandoned RV parks. They have abandoned mobile home parks, all up and down the shorelines of the Salton Sea, going all the way up here north to Salton City here. This is Salton City right here. Okay? Up here to the northeast, this is North Shore of Salton Sea. North Shore of Salton Sea. Yes, they have people who live here year-round. They don't access the beaches. They live out here in the hot desert weather. Very hot out here in the desert. 120, 125 degrees, all during the summertime. All during the summertime. But they do grow crops out here in the sand, the loamy soil around the Salton Sea. North Shore Salton Sea here. The volcano here. The volcano here is over here on the southern side of the Salton Sea underwater. Underwater here. Right here. Right here. You see steam rising from the volcano here. Steam rising from the volcano here. Incredible. Sometimes when the water dissipates, sometimes when the water evaporates, you might wander out here into where the Salton Sea used to be. You might see these obsidian fingers sticking up out of the sand. Obsidian rocks generated by the last time that the volcano erupted. The last time the volcano erupted. Yet this volcano is still active. The Salton Butte volcano is still active. And yes, it has the possibility of erupting even now. The Salton Butte volcano could erupt even now. Just so you know. Does anybody have any questions for me? Over here in the west desert of the Salton Sea here, the west desert of the Imperial Valley here, this is a 1.3 tremor here in Ocotillo Wells, California. Up here to the north, this is Borrego Springs. 0.6 microquake here in Borrego Springs. Part of the Anza Borrego Desert State Park. The Anza Borrego Desert State Park here in northeast San Diego County. Northeast San Diego County. Over here, the top of the Chocolate Mountains. Pine Valley, California, East San Diego County. Microquake, 0.6 microquake here. We go north here. Lake Henshaw. Lake Henshaw. This is a 0.7 microquake. Supposedly 2 miles southeast of Lake Henshaw. Guys, this is nowhere close to even being near 2 miles southeast of Lake Henshaw. This is west of Lake Henshaw. East of Lake Henshaw would be over here. This is southwest of Lake Henshaw. USGS still can't get the directions right. This, they say, is a 0.7 microquake here. They have microquakes and tremors here all around Lake Henshaw here. Lake Henshaw is about 7 miles northeast of Escondido, California. About 7 miles northeast of Escondido, California. I used to live in Escondido. I used to fish here in Lake Henshaw. I know the area very well. Great place. North here, this is Palomar Observatory. About 20-minute drive northeast of Escondido. About a 20-minute drive northeast of Escondido. Palomar Observatory here. The telescope, the famous telescope, Palomar Telescope is here. Guess what? Guess what? We have a 0.2 microquake here. They say this is a 2 miles northwest of Palomar Observatory. Fact of the matter is, where is Palomar Observatory? Right there. Right there. This earthquake is northeast of Palomar Observatory. Northeast of Palomar Observatory, guys. Again, the USGS has a problem with directions. They don't want to tell us what's going on here. They don't want to identify earthquakes where they're at or where they're at. Not at all. Not at all. They don't want us to know. Up here to the north, right here, Westchester, California. I used to fish in this lake here. I know this area very well. This is a 0.8 microquake in Westchester, California. Interesting. Very interesting. Over here to the southeast here, or southwest, I'm sorry, southwest. This earthquake here is northeast of Lake Elsinore. Northeast of Lake Elsinore, California. They are showing this earthquake to be a quarry blast again. A quarry blast. Let's zoom in here, guys. Let's zoom in here and show you what's going on here. This is not anywhere near a quarry. This earthquake is not anywhere near a quarry, guys. This is a tremor here. This is a tremor. This is a tremor, 1.0 tremor here. 3 miles northeast of Lake Henshaw. 3 miles northeast of Lake Henshaw here. Unreal. Unreal. Again, they don't want to be honest with us and tell us where these earthquakes are actually hitting. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. I've been out here at Lake Elsinore before. I almost bought some property here. At one point in time, for as little as $75 an acre, you could have bought property here at Lake Elsinore or Lake Henshaw. Or Lake Elsinore here. Lake Elsinore. $75 an acre. I should have bought property here. This place is taken off. This place is taken off. Look at the residential area here. Look at the residential area. And there's a mall here. There is an outdoor mall right here. Unreal. Property values have escalated here since the 70s when you could have bought property here for at least $75 an acre. Crazy. One other thing you need to know about Lake Elsinore is it stinks. There is no waterway pumping water into Lake Elsinore. No rivers, no creeks here. The water here comes from runoff. Runoff from rain. Here doesn't rain that much. This lake has always existed here. Because this lake does not have inlets or runoffs here, guess what? It stinks. It stinks like a toilet. They call it Lake Smell Some More. Lake Smell Some More here. Crazy as it seems. Unreal. Unreal. I've been here. I know the area very well. Demon Catman says spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustus cannabis. Exploding trees out here. Exploding trees out here. Yes, there are some tree stands out here. I've been here. There are some tree stands out here in the desert. Not many, but there are. And yes, guess what? Guess what? Demon Catman, you might be right. Maybe there's a marmot out here. Maybe there's a prairie dog. Maybe there's a snake burrowed down here in the sand. Spontaneous combustion universe by a snake. Fathom that. Fathom that right here. Earthquake, guys. Supposed quarry blast here out in the middle of the California desert here, northeast Lake Elsinore. Wild. Totally wild here. Totally wild here. Craziness. Guys, do you have any questions for me? I primarily wanted this talk today to be about earthquakes in Japan and earthquakes on the Cascadia subduction zone. We covered that. We covered that extensively. I wanted to make sure you understood what was going on here, because these things are still happening. They're going to continue to happen. They're not going away. Not at all. Demon Catman's here in the chat. I'm going to repeat this because it's true. It's important. Demon Catman says the United States sprays way more fertilizers and pesticides than other countries. He says we are far more regulated more in Europe than they are in the United States. He's absolutely right. We poison ourselves here. We poison ourselves here in the United States, which is very sad. Very, very sad commentary here. We are going to see more earthquakes in Japan. We're going to see way more earthquakes here in Japan. Let me take down this matter. Let's move this USGS map out and talk about Japan just for another minute here. I want to show you what's going on in Japan today. You're kidding me. Just a second, guys. USGS used to do this to me a lot. I just took the USGS map down. I'm going to reinstall it on the software here and show you the USGS map once again. There it is. There's another earthquake just southeast of the Kamchatka Peninsula here. This happens to be a 4.7 watt earthquake here. Let's go down here to Japan. Right over here. The same area where we had that 7.7, 7.8 earthquake yesterday. We're still having earthquakes here. USGS is showing us a 5.4 earthquake here. This is a 5.6. 5.6 large earthquake, 5.4 large earthquake, 4.8 moderate earthquake, 4.4 moderate earthquake, closer to shore, another 4.4 earthquake near Noda, Japan. Near Noda, Japan. 5 earthquakes here. That's interesting. That's hugely interesting. Let me bring up the EMSC earthquake map, my device here. Let me show you what's going on here in Japan. The USGS is showing us 5 earthquakes. Guess what? We're going to show you 6 earthquakes here that the EMSC European Agency is showing us here. Crazy. Crazy, guys. I'm going to enlarge my webcam here and show you more earthquakes. This is a 5.4 earthquake here. USGS is showing this earthquake. They're also showing the other earthquake here just southeast of there. This is a 4.7 earthquake here. Going north, this is a 5.6 earthquake here. Over to the west, this is a 4.4 earthquake. Further to the south, another 4.8 earthquake here. And over here to the west, a 4.4 earthquake here. No to Japan again. There are 7 earthquakes here. USGS shows us 5. USGS shows us 5 here. Craziness. Total craziness, guys. They never want to show us exactly what's going on. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Do we have any questions here? Do we have any questions here? Yes, Linda Covington says farmers need fertilizer. Yes, they do. But they don't need all the chemical fertilizers either. They do not need all the chemical fertilizers that they're using. Chemical fertilizers poison the plants that we eat, that poison us as well and give us cancers and all kinds of other things. We don't need it. Don't need it. But they're doing it anyway. There are other earthquakes south of Japan as well. But those are the major earthquakes that we're showing here in the same area where we had that 7.8 earthquake yesterday afternoon in Japan. What's going on? It's happening. It's happening. Now, guys, bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second. I want to go now and show you a brief video from a place where I used to live in Colorado. Hold on. I thought I had it on my Facebook page. It's not there, but I know I do have it. Give me a second here.
Time to pump up the tires.
Okay, I'm going to show you this. I think it's important. My friend Jim Urban is a very dear friend of mine. Back in 2019, well, no, I'm sorry. It happened in 1999, Littleton, Colorado. There was a school called Columbine High School that was terrorized by 2 young men with semi-automatic weapons that shut up their fellow students and teachers at Columbine High School. I want to show you this. Some of you might remind yourselves of Columbine High School. My friend Jim Urban lives in Littleton, Colorado, where I used to live. He's going to take you on a small tour near Columbine High School. Watch this video here. Hold on a second here. I'm going to give you the give me a second here. I'm going to synchronize this audio for you and just have a shake. Hold on.
Today is the 27th anniversary of the Columbine shooting. My daughter was a freshman at Columbine High School at the time. She was one of the survivors. I want you to know that our hearts are still very heavy, and we still think as a community, I know personally I do, about this event and how tragic it was at the time. It paralyzed us. We didn't even know what to think or what to do or how it could even happen to our community. You can see I'm at the memorial. This is the memorial wall that I'm at right now. Today, this one resonates with me the most today as I reflect. I think that this caused people to strengthen rather than shake their faith in God. I definitely believe that this is true for me. Those that are left on this earth, we can strive to be better people with the help of our Savior, Jesus Christ. We're just regular people like you, and this tragedy happened right here.
Guys, the people here, the students you see here, and teachers there. See Dave Sanders there? He was a teacher at the high school. The other students there are students that were here. They're now dead. Shot by various students here at the high school. They died. They died here at Columbine High School 27 years ago. 27 years ago. 3 days after that, I was visiting Littleton with some friends of mine, contemplating a move to Littleton, Colorado, where, yes, I did meet Jim Urban here. One of the other daughters here, one of the other women, the girls here at the high school, was featured here on the video here. Featured on the video here. Rachel Scott. I met her father. I met her father. Daniel Rorba. I met his father as well. You can imagine the heartbreak of their families because of the deaths of their kids, the deaths of their sons and daughters. Jim had a daughter there. She's now a grown daughter with grandkids of Jim's. This is the time we mourn. We mourn for each of these people that died at the hands of assassins here in Littleton, Colorado, 27 years ago. May God bless each one of us. that we never have to see this again. We never ever have to see this again. May God bless us in our lives, that we may ourselves find Jesus Christ in our own lives and gain testimonies of him and make our community stronger, make our families stronger, where we can live together in harmony for the rest of our lives. Guys, if anything else happens today, tonight, tomorrow, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon sometime after 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Emergency Management Associates. Be here. Please share this program far and wide with your friends, your neighbors, your family, your extended family, and even the people you associate with on social media, the people you work with as well. God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Good night. Be safe.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. Complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We love you.